Hello, once more, and welcome back to the 2024 NFL predictions, week number 4. After going 3-4 last week, my record improves to 10-11, only a game under 500 though, but that's about it. After being over 500 the first 2 weeks of the season, it's time to get back into it. We're through week number 4, and a lot of games, implications, multiple unbeaten teams this week. With that being said, let's get started with week 4 NFL predictions right now on this Tuesday afternoon. Let's go. And our first matchup of the week coming up on Thursday Night Football between the Giants and the Cowboys. A game on Amazon Prime. Cowboys coming in 2-1. And you look at the whole NFC East so far this year between the Cowboys, the Washington Commanders, and of course the Philadelphia Eagles, the top 3 teams of the division, all 2-1, all playing this weekend. Of all 3 of those games to predict this week. And you have the Giants with Daniel Jones and without a Saquon Barkley, a Giants team which is a team of misfits, kind of like the Island Misfit Toys from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, unfortunately, because they're a bunch of players. It's a team that I'm not so sure what they are. They're a team that I think is rebuilding, and they're not very good. But the Cowboys, though, coming off a loss to 28-25 to the Ravens, down 20-6 in the starting fourth quarter on Sunday, came back and scored and got to 25 points and lost still. This week going into New York, Thursday Night Football, this game should be interesting to see. Cowboys, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, all those guys on the Cowboys roster. I think the Cowboys get a big win this week. I'm on the road Thursday night, so giving the Cowboys here on Thursday night, going on the road on Thursday night to New York to get a win. As I take the Cowboys in game 1. Second game of the matchup, we had the 3-0 Vikings coming up on Sunday. They travel to Green Bay to play the Packers and Malik Willis. And the question here, pointed out now, is with Jordan Love's injury, did the Packers find their quarterback who can lead them? Malik Willis, did Jordan Love lose a job? Packers fans think Jordan Love's the savior of the who's replaced Rodgers, should be the guy who leads the team. I think Malik Willis came in the trade from Tennessee. He looks like he's going to be the quarterback of the future. Looks like he's led him to a win the last 2 weeks. Keep the Packers at 2-1 on the year in 2 games in a row against the Colts and now the Titans. And Malik Willis, he looks like the guy, but this time around he has the Vikings coming into town with Sam Darnold, who are 3-0 on the season. Something Kirk Cousins can never do in his years with the Vikings, but Sam Darnold has in his first year, leading the Vikings to a 3-0 record to start their season. Young season. It's still young. It's a rivalry. Biggest in the NFC North. Hard to believe it's happening this early in Green Bay. Usually this game is a game that would be in the cold in Green Bay, but they were playing late in the season in Minnesota. With this matchup being said, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to which team would keep, which team that does not make mistakes, and which team does not turn the ball over. With that being said, I'm going to take the Packers to give the Vikings their first loss. Malik Willis and the Packers, I think, will do it again, as I do think the Packers get the win on a Sunday, as I do think they beat the Vikings, and then the Vikings 3-0 start. They'll be tied after this weekend, I think, in this division race, both at 3-1. Meanwhile, coming up on Sunday afternoon, we have to go to Indianapolis. The Steelers, Justin Fields 3-0 after leaving the Bears, going into Indianapolis to play the Colts. Of course, the Colts. Hard to believe. Talk about the Colts who beat the Bears the other day. Just hard to believe the Colts beat the Bears the other day. Steelers, Justin Fields, he started his career 3-0. I picked the Chargers the other day, last week against the Steelers. Steelers ended up winning 20-10, so Justin Fields and the Steelers 3-0. Is this a team, the Steelers, Justin Fields, with Mike Tomlin? Is this a great connection? I'm going to say yes for now, because Justin Fields, he's proved that since living in Chicago, he can win games in the NFL as a quarterback, as a starter, with Russell Wilson, who's his backup, who left Denver, who the Broncos got rid of. I think this is a team in Steelers. Their team, they're showing that they can win. I think they will continue to win until Justin Fields makes the little mistakes. And if he doesn't get hurt because he has an offensive line protecting him at the moment, I think Justin Fields and the Steelers are pretty well as a team to build on their winning streak of 3 straight. I think they get the win this weekend in Indianapolis going against the Colts team, which has fallen on some hard times at 1-2. So I'm going to take the Steelers and Justin Fields because I think the Steelers get the job done, go to 4-0. Justin Fields, since leaving Chicago, can the win still, I think. His offensive line protecting him at least. So I do think that's what helps him out this weekend as well. Moving on, next game. We have the Eagles 2-1. Go up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, young quarterbacks. Two former Oklahoma quarterbacks. Two former Heisman Trophy winners in this one in Tampa Bay on Sunday. And also, the team that the Eagles lost to in the postseason, Baker Mayfield Buccaneers beat Jalen Hurts and the Eagles last year in the postseason. One thing the Eagles did not have last year in the postseason when they played this game in Tampa in the playoffs, they did not have a Saquon Barkley. They had a DeAndre Swift, for example, who's their main set run back, and a couple other players. And that's one thing the Eagles did not have last year in the playoff race. And I think that's going to be the one thing that's going to make a difference. Saquon Barkley, I think, is going to make a difference in this matchup. Baker Mayfield has Mike Evans and other players. He also has some running backs in the back. He's behind him as well. Overall, this game, I think, is going to turn out to be the same as the playoff game last year, that the Buccaneers beat the Eagles on Monday Night Football last year in the playoffs, and I do think it's come down the wire. But this time around, I think the Eagles get revenge on the road in the rematch of the postseason last year from that game on Monday night, as I do think the Eagles are the second NFC East team. They get their third one of the year on Sunday, as I do think they get to 3-1. Moving on from this one, out to the desert. We have Jaden Daniels, the rookie quarterback for the Washington Commanders. After beating the Bengals last night and Joe Burrow to give the Bengals their own 3 record, they're going up against the Arizona Cardinals, who are 1-2, who are a little bit intimidated. The Arizona Cardinals this year, one of those teams that looks like they're having some issues at 1-2. The Commanders coming in at 2-1. This is a real test for Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner from last year out of LSU, the rookie, as he has to take his team up against Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. You know, this is a game that you can look at and say, okay, is this a game that Washington has to go on the road and win? I wouldn't say it's a game they need to win on the road, but if they want to stay with the Eagles and Cowboys and make the NFC East interesting, they can do that against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Cardinals last week lost to the Lions. The game I predicted that the Lions would win. And this time around, with the Commanders going to Arizona, I think it's the first true test for Commanders. They're going out west to play the Cardinals. Not sure what's going to happen. I think Kyler Murray is going to, and Jaden Daniels, they're both going to show fans what they can do in this matchup. But I do see the Washington Commanders maybe getting beat here in this one. With that being said, I think there's Cardinals and Kyler Murray shock the Commanders here in week number 4. Surprisingly, after losing to the Lions 20-13, I think there's Cardinals surprise people this week in the NFC West against NFC East, as I do the Commanders drop to 2-2 on the year. Moving on, Sunday Night Football, the first Sunday night game. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, 3-0 on the year, coming up after winning last night, big against the Jaguars. They're going to Baltimore, who is now 2-1, or 1-2, I guess you could say, against the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. This matchup last night, the Bills won big on Monday Night Football against the Jaguars. Josh Allen had a great game. This time around, they're going to go against Lamar Jackson, the defending MVP, and the team of the Ravens that lost the championship game to the Chiefs last year, as the Chiefs went on to win Super Bowl 58. Looking at this matchup, Josh Allen, I said this in the preseason predictions. I did predict the Bills to be a number 2 seed this year. And so far, they're putting up numbers just like the Kansas City Chiefs are. Both teams are 3-0. But it's the one thing I said about the Bills. Their team, that when they make the playoffs, they can't finish. They finish in the regular season, but they can't finish in the postseason. And I think the Bills, this is going to be one of those games where the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, the defense of the Ravens, are going to test them. Lamar Jackson to throw some balls downfield. I think the Bills' defense is going to have to be ready to play on Sunday night. And it's going to be one of those games that I think is going to be interesting. And do I see the Bills getting their first loss of the year? Yes, I do. But here's the reason why. I think the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, their group on offense, the Ravens, I think will just take it as a home game. Will run over the Bills this week, unfortunately. I think it's going to be close, though, in that sense. So I do give the Ravens the win there on Sunday night in Baltimore, surprisingly, as I do think the Bills dropped to 3-1. As a Chiefs fan, I'll say this: Chiefs do play the Chargers this week, so a chance that the Chiefs and Bills can both be 3-1 this week, but we'll see. Next matchup, though, Monday Night Football. One of the two Monday night games. Only have one Monday night game this week. This one, the Seattle Seahawks, Geno Smith 3-0, going into Detroit against Jared Goff, who is 2-1. Another NFC North team that's 2-1, the Lions. Last week I did pick them to win, and they did get a win 20-13. The week before that, I did pick the Lions to beat the Buccaneers. They lost that game 20-16. So this is the fourth week in a row we have the Lions on, and out of them so far that I picked the Lions, I'm 2-1 when I pick them. So, and for Seahawks, this is the first time we have Geno Smith and the Seahawks 3-0, having to travel to Detroit Monday night, a game that's going to be loud indoors. We all know how Seattle is when they're loud at their stadium in Lumen Field in Seattle, but in Detroit, the Lions fans, they can be loud just as loud. And with that being said, Geno Smith and the Seahawks are going to have to maintain the crowd control and control their own team, avoid getting penalties, false starts, and stuff. And because when you go into a building that's loud, an indoor stadium that's loud, that's going to distract you a lot. And I think that's going to be the distracting thing for the Seahawks this week against the Lions. I think this game can come down to kickers this week in this matchup on Monday Night Football. With that being said, I do think the Seahawks come out of Detroit with a win, surprisingly. With that being said, I do think the Seahawks get to 4-0. One of the teams that this week I think will be 4-0 after week number 4. We will see about that, though. Again, here's the week 4 prediction recap who I'm taking this week. As you can see who I'm taking, I'll tell you first, starting out on Thursday Night Football, I'm taking the Cowboys and Dak Prescott against the Giants and Geno Jones. From there, I'm taking Malik Willis and the Packers against Sam Darnold and the Vikings. And Indianapolis, I'm taking the Justin Fields and the Steelers against the Colts this week. And Anthony Richardson. And then in Tampa Bay, I'm taking Jalen Hurts and the Eagles in the rematch against Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers from last year's postseason to get the win in Tampa. From there, I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals, surprisingly, and Kyler Murray against J.J. Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner from and against the Washington Commanders this week. And in Baltimore, Sunday Night Football, I'm taking Lamar Jackson against the Bills and Josh Allen. And from there, and Monday Night Football, I'm taking the Seahawks, Geno Smith, against the Lions and Jared Goff. As you can see there are the Week 4 NFL predictions. Hope you all enjoyed. Please comment below who your favorite team is playing this weekend if you think they're going to win. And with that being said, please also don't forget to watch, like, subscribe, tell your friends as well to do the same if they have not done so yet already. Also, don't forget to hit that notification button below so you know when I upload a new video. With that being said, I'm going to say stay safe and peace out. I'll see you right back here in week number 5 NFL predictions next Tuesday. Have a good day. Stay safe. Peace out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.